mercy. The appellate court wrote of the egregious behavior that rightly shocked the consciences of jurors and judges alike. A jurisdictional ruling reduced the verdict on appeal to approximately $2.12 billion. The company also stopped selling its famous formula with talc, instead making it with cornstarch. My job is to find and understand truth. Across America, I have worked for almost 40 years trying cases and ferreting out truth, ordering the facts, seeing patterns, and finding consistent themes that put together a composite whole is my everyday life. That is a glimpse into my life in law. My life runs a parallel approach in faith. I am a believing Christian, although that doesn't mean I subscribe to the beliefs that often garner a great deal of media attention. My faith is built on an understanding of God and this world that allows a personal relationship with the divine. I am a Christian because the core Christian faith makes sense of the evidence I see in people and the world. While I hold to the Christian faith, all religious beliefs fascinate me. I am intrigued by formal religions, but I am equally interested in non-formal spiritual convictions. Part of my fascination likely stems from my personality. I am always interested in learning something new. But a great deal of my attraction to studying the spiritual ideas of others stems also from my own religious beliefs. This book completes a trilogy of books in which I examine my faith along with the beliefs or unbeliefs of others. In the first book, Christianity on Trial, I examine whether the basics of the Christian faith make sense. The second book, Atheism on Trial, is my examination of unbelief, comparing it to what I know of life and finding it coming up short. I'm not sure if one is allowed to have favorites among books by one author, but in some ways, this third book on world religions is my favorite of the three. Let me explain why. A fundamental premise of the Christian faith is that God's truth is in the world all around me and you. I believe that God's attributes and divine nature are clearly perceptible in the world as well as in a person's life. Therefore, genuine efforts to discern the divine will find elements of truth, even if greater truths elude the seeker. Because of this, I expect to find some elements of God's truth in any faith. I should be able to search Buddhism and find elements of truth. Ditto for Hinduism. Similarly, I should be able to find elements of truth in Islam, and even in what I term secular spiritualism, or a belief in a spirituality that is manifested in cultural truths, embraced by many of the so-called unreligious who seek simply to be spiritual. But hand in hand with the expectation that other religious systems and dogmas will have elements of truth, the Christian model of reality also projects that those systems will be missing key aspects of reality. For the Christian system to be the valid explanation of truth, both of these premises should manifest in a fair examination of systems. Importantly, I am not able to examine all aspects of these faiths. That would take many volumes. But such complete examination is unnecessary. Let me illustrate why. In most every trial, the judge puts the lawyers under time controls, much like the confines of this book put me under a page limit. Recently, my buddy Pete Weinberger and I, with a tremendous backup team of hundreds of lawyers, including my daughter Rachel, tried the nation's first jury trial dealing with the national opioid epidemic. The judge gave us a set number of trial hours to spend as we saw fit. The defendants had many expert witnesses to call to the stand. Our time to cross-examine each was limited. One of the witnesses was a pain doctor from California. When the defense attorney questioned him, we feared the doctor made a good impression on the jury. He had the California tan, the California smile, the California demeanor, and seemed quite the expert. His credentials were paraded in front of the jury through his curriculum vitae, CV, his professional resume. I wanted days to cross-examine this doctor, but I had only a few hours, so I had to puncture his testimony in a focused manner. Like a naval battle, I needed a